Hello guys, zip through film history with flashback flicks, subscribe for the ride. Prepare to be captivated as we explore the enchanting world of Rio. Blue, a rare blue macaw, as he's whisked away from his cozy life in Minnesota to the bustling streets of Rio. What starts as a quest to save his species turns into a thrilling adventure filled with danger, love, and the discovery of true courage. The story begins in the lush, vibrant rainforests of Brazil. The camera sweeps over the dense greenery, alive with the sounds of chirping birds and the gentle rustle of leaves. As the morning sun filters through the trees, we see a flock of brightly colored birds dancing and singing, their feathers gleaming in the golden light. Among these birds is a tiny Spix's macaw chick named Blue. Blue is playful and curious, exploring his surroundings with wide-eyed wonder. However, this idyllic scene is abruptly interrupted when a group of poachers violently invades the forest. The once peaceful birds scatter in panic, but many, including Blue, are captured and caged by the ruthless men. Blue is transported far away from his home, ending up in a small town called Moose Lake in Minnesota, United States. Fate intervenes when the truck carrying Blue takes a sharp turn on an icy road in Moose Lake, Minnesota, causing the crate containing Blue to fall off unnoticed, and is discovered by a young girl named Linda Gunderson. Linda, who is gentle and kind-hearted, takes the frightened bird home and names him Blue. Over the years, Blue and Linda develop a close bond. Blue becomes a domesticated pet, living a life of comfort and security with Linda. Although Blue is incredibly intelligent, he never learns to fly, content to live his life on the ground, enjoying his simple routine. 15 years later, Blue has grown into an intelligent, albeit flightless, macaw. His days are spent in the warmth of Linda's home, where he enjoys reading, making hot chocolate, and watching the world from behind a glass window. Linda, now running a bookstore, treasures Blue as her best friend, and their lives together are filled with simple, happy routines. One day, their peaceful life is disrupted when a Brazilian ornithologist named Tulio Monteiro arrives at Linda's bookstore. Tulio is excited and a bit eccentric, explaining to Linda that Blue is the last male of his species, the rare Spix's macaw. Tulio urges Linda to bring Blue to Rio de Janeiro to mate with the last known female of the species, named Jewel, in order to save them from extinction. Linda is initially hesitant, not wanting to disrupt Blue's comfortable life, but she eventually agrees, understanding the importance of preserving Blue's species. Upon arriving in Rio de Janeiro, Linda and Blue are overwhelmed by the sights and sounds of the city. The vibrant atmosphere of carnival preparations fills the air with music, dance, and the colors of samba costumes. Tulio takes them to his aviary, where Blue is introduced to Jewel. Jewel is beautiful, strong-willed, and fiercely independent, a stark contrast to the domesticated and cautious Blue. She dreams of escaping captivity and returning to the wild. However, Blue is more concerned about getting back to the safety of his home with Linda. That night, as Blue and Jewel awkwardly try to get to know each other in the aviary, disaster strikes. A group of smugglers, led by the sinister cockatoo Nigel, breaks into the aviary. Nigel, once a popular television star who has since fallen into disgrace, harbors a deep-seated hatred for all birds, especially the beautiful and rare ones like Blue and Jewel. With cold precision, Nigel, help of young boy, captures the two macaws and delivers them to his human accomplices, who plan to sell them on the black market. Elsewhere, Linda and Tulio were enjoying a pleasant dinner at a cozy restaurant. Their evening took a sudden turn when Tulio received a call. He got terrible news: Blue and Jewel had been stolen. Linda's heart sank, and she couldn't help but feel devastated. Overwhelmed with emotion, she pointed fingers at Tulio. Meanwhile, Blue and Jewel wake up chained together in a dark room, terrified and disoriented. Jewel is determined to escape and drags the reluctant Blue along with her. Although Blue's inability to fly complicates their escape, they manage to free themselves from their cages and flee into the city, still chained together. They are pursued by Nigel, but they manage to evade him and take shelter in the forest for the night. On the other hand, Linda and Tulio were doing their part to find Blue. They went around the city putting up posters about his disappearance. In the morning, Fernando spotted one of the posters, and it struck a chord with him. He knew he had to do the right thing, so he tracked down Linda to tell her Blue's whereabouts. Meanwhile, Marcel was fuming when he realized that his precious Pix's macaw had flown the coop, especially since he was supposed to send it away that very night. He ordered Nigel to take on the search. On the other hand, Blue and Jewel encounter a friendly toucan named Raphael. They ask if he can break the chain, but he tells them, "I know a dog named Louise who can help." Raphael decides to help Blue learn to fly so that he can enjoy the freedom of flying. Blue is pretty frightened at the idea of flying and losing his place, but Raphael has a brilliant idea. He suggests tying Blue and Jewel's wings together, which allows them to use a hang glider for their journey. Unfortunately, a strong gust of wind sends them crashing into a tree on the beach. Not wanting to waste any time, Raphael proposes they hitch a ride on a truck. At the same time, Linda and Tulio are also on their way to the location Fernando had informed them about. Due to a massive traffic jam, they decide to swap their car for a motorbike to get there quicker. Meanwhile, the truck with Blue and his friends reaches the marketplace, where they run into Nico and Pedro. Soon after, Nico and Pedro lead Blue and Jewel to a different spot. Nico and Pedro then invite Blue and Jewel to a lively bird party happening in Rio, where they both have a great time dancing and getting to know each other better. Soon after, Mauro shows up, wanting to take Blue and Jewel with him, but they resist. This leads to a big scuffle between the birds and the monkeys. Thankfully, Blue and Jewel manage to slip away from Mauro. Shortly after, their adventure continues as they make their way to Louisa's workshop. Meanwhile, Linda and Tulio reach the place they were told Blue would be, but he isn't there. Just then, Armando and Tipa stroll in wearing festive carnival outfits and try to keep their scheme a secret from Fernando. However, they invite Fernando to join the carnival festivities. Linda and Tulio, who are hiding and overhearing everything, decide to follow them to the carnival. Elsewhere, Nigel finds Mauro. Although he is a bit dazed, Nigel manages to inquire about Blue's whereabouts from a little bird nearby. With the new information, Nigel dashes off to find Blue and Jewel. At another location, the group of birds seeks help from Louise, a slobbery but good-hearted bulldog who runs a garage. Louise is known for his unique talent of breaking chains with his powerful jaws. Louise successfully frees Blue and Jewel from the chain that binds them together, which makes Jewel really happy as she can fly freely once again. But Blue can only watch Jewel from the ground, feeling a bit left out. Blue decides to head off to find Linda, but Jewel tries to stop him. Despite feeling jealous and unable to fly, Blue is too stubborn to admit it at the time. They can't agree on what to do, so they choose to part ways. Just then, Nico and Pedro, who are flying close by, decide to stick with Jewel. Suddenly, Nigel swoops in and grabs Jewel, planning to take her to the carnival. Nico and Pedro see everything and hurry to tell Blue what just happened to Jewel. Together, they rush to the carnival. Meanwhile, Marcel notices a not-so-fancy car that had been used for their escape, mixed in with the carnival parade. Not long after, Linda and Tulio join the front of the carnival dressed up in bird outfits. They are searching for Blue, but Linda gets snagged by a carnival official and ends up on a parade float. Around the same time, Blue and Louise make it to the carnival, blending in with the bustling crowd of revelers. At the same time, Raphael and the gang are frantically searching for Jewel, who is now in Marcel's car. Soon, Blue spots Linda on a parade float but doesn't stop, determined to rescue Jewel. However, he gets captured by Nigel, and so do Raphael and the others. Marcel then takes them all to the airport. Meanwhile, Fernando is trying to leave some clues for Linda and Tulio to find them. On the other hand, Armando and Tipa are busy loading the birds onto a plane. At that time, Fernando tries to set Blue and Jewel free, but Nigel catches him, and it seems like Marcel is going to punish him. Thankfully, Fernando manages to slip away. Finally, Linda and Tulio quickly get to the airport. There, they try to stop Marcel's plane by breaking through a fence, but it's no use because the plane takes off. Inside the plane, Blue doesn't give up. He manages to break out of his cage and helps Jewel and the other birds get free. Blue realizes he has some limitations, especially when Nigel seizes the moment to attack. Incredibly, Blue is able to outsmart Nigel by tying him up with a fire extinguisher, which causes Nigel to break the plane's window. This causes the plane to sway, and Jewel falls since her wing is injured. Without a second thought, Blue dives to save her. He grabs her, and then they fly down to meet Linda. Blue asks Tullio to fix Jewel's wing so they can fly together freely in the forest. The story concludes at a bird sanctuary in the rainforest, where Blue and Jewel have started a family of their own. Their 3 little chicks, a symbol of hope for their species, chirp happily as they explore their new home. Linda and Tullio, who have also found love in each other, and they adopt Fernando and continue their work to protect endangered birds in Brazil. As the camera pans out, we see the rainforest once again, alive with the sounds of birds and the beauty of nature, reminding us of the importance of preserving these wonders. This has been Recap of the Rio movie. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more exciting stories from Flashback Flicks. See you next time.